On Monday, August 25, 2025, Southern California was hit by a sudden and devastating weather event. Roads that, until a few hours earlier, had been filled with cars and tourists were transformed into veritable rivers and flood. Places accustomed to sun and drought, such as Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley, were inundated by torrential rains, transforming the desert landscape into an apocalyptic landscape. It all started with the convergence of monsoon moisture from Baja California, which collided with a heat dome that had been keeping temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius for days, a perfect cocktail for generating violent thunderstorms. The National Weather Service, NWS, had issued flash flood warnings for several counties: Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, and Imperial. These weren't routine warnings. They were prophecies that, just hours later, would tragically come true. By early afternoon, Doppler radar detected rapidly developing thunderstorm cells over the Coachella Valley and inland San Diego. The rain was falling at an impressive rate, over 5 centimeters per hour, an unsustainable amount for such arid and already urbanized land. Wind gusts exceeded 50 miles per hour, while coin-sized hailstones hit communities including Palm Springs, Cathedral City, and Borrego Springs. One of the most dramatic moments occurred along Highway 86 near Desert Elmore Ranch. The road was literally swallowed up by the waters. Dozens of cars were trapped, many swept away by the current. Footage shot by residents shows surreal scenes, cars floating like buoys in a sea of mud. Rescuers waded through chest-deep water to save motorists sheltering on the roofs of their cars. A nurse from Brawley recounts, "It was like watching the desert turn into an ocean. I was afraid I wouldn't make it." In Palm Springs and Rancho Mirage, entire neighborhoods were submerged. Over 12,000 homes were left without power, and emergency dispatchers received hundreds of calls about collapsed roofs and elderly people trapped in flooded homes. In Borrego Springs, even the local hospital had to activate emergency protocols. Access roads were impassable, and the most seriously ill patients were evacuated by helicopter to San Diego. The California Office of Emergency Services, Cal-OES, activated its Level 2 Operations Center, working closely with FEMA and the National Guard. Over 300 personnel were mobilized to manage evacuations, temporary shelters, and damage assessments. Governor Elena Martinez declared a state of emergency, releasing federal funds for relief efforts and promising that saving lives remains the top priority. "We will rebuild, but now we must endure." Thanks to new technologies such as predictive models based on artificial intelligence, authorities were able to identify the most at-risk areas in advance and organize targeted evacuations. According to Professor Raj Patel, a climate resilience expert at UC Riverside, these tools likely saved hundreds of lives. Meanwhile, social media has transformed into a spontaneous support network. Citizens reporting floods in real time, families sharing the locations of missing people, volunteers organizing neighborhood relief efforts. Experts warn, this was no mere anomaly. 2025 has already seen over 2,400 flash flood warnings in the United States, with California among the hardest-hit regions. As NOAA meteorologist Emily Chan explains, we are entering an era of flooded deserts and scorched coastlines. Climate change is making these events increasingly frequent and intense. The National Weather Service has reminded us once again, never attempt to cross flooded roads. Official statistics confirm that most flood victims die inside a vehicle, caught in seemingly harmless currents that can overturn a car in seconds. California, a symbol of sunshine and opportunity, today shows a different face, that of fragility in the face of nature's power. The toll from the August 25th floods is still being updated. Hundreds of homes damaged, infrastructure compromised, thousands of residents forced to flee their homes. Authorities estimate it will be weeks, if not months, before the situation returns to normal. What is certain is that Southern California now faces an enormous task: rebuilding, strengthening prevention systems, and preparing for new extreme events that, according to experts, may no longer be exceptions, but part of a new climate normal.